It's Friday, 84 degrees in Delaware. Joe Biden should be shirtless on the beach getting dominated by the sun. Instead, he's locked in a dark basement mock debating Trump impersonators. Our cameras caught Biden on his way to Camp David, stiff as a board, shuffling across the tarmac. Now the Biden campaign might call this a cheap fake, but it's 100% real. All we did was point a camera at the president and hit record. Last night, we were told Biden will have a physical performance surprise for us at the CNN presidential debate. Doesn't look like he's ready for whatever they're planning now because the campaign is focused on training Biden to stand for 90 minutes.
Part one is going to be pouring through all of this source material, trying to refine and hone in on his talking points. Part two of that, Phil, of that debate prep, it's going to be actually putting that into action with these mock debates. This is going to include a 90-minute formal debate where the president is standing up on his feet the entire time, trying to mirror what he's going to have to do in real time next week.
The bar couldn't be any lower for Joe. As long as he doesn't just get up and wander off before it's over, people will call it a win.
I'd be a president for every American, whether they voted for me or not.
Well, and the ones that didn't vote for your bills but run on them.
That's
too.
right.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate
it's great to have you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here. We'll have reaction and analysis to everything we just heard.
Biden always performs better than expected on big nights. Could be that he's well rested, studies hard. Or maybe it's whatever's in that orange drink. What is in that orange drink? Trump knows he won't be going up against your typical Joe Biden.
I'm not underestimating him. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. I happen to think he's incompetent for a lot of reasons. I think he's incompetent because he has gotten the worst policies, both foreign policy and internal policy. I mean, who would not want to have a wall? Who wants to have millions of people pouring in? Who wants to have high taxes?
He in cognitive decline. Do you believe he's in cognitive decline, Mr. President?
Well, I shouldn't be the one to say that, but I don't think he's doing particularly well.
That was Trump on a podcast with a few tech billionaires who just hosted a fundraiser for him in Silicon Valley. So what do a bunch of rich guys talk about? How nice their homes are.
Hello, Mr. President.
Great time. I love that house he has. I love David's house. What a house. That made the biggest impression, huh?
Thank you, sir. I heard you have a pretty nice house, too.
Yeah, I have. We're in a nice house.
Now, after they got that out of the way, the billionaires dove into some serious policy talk. Trump's taking the less is more approach. Less taxes and regulation means more money.
I gave the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, and a lot to business. The revenues were better than ever, even with the lower rate. We had a record revenues, which tells you a little bit about that. But also the regulations. In 4 years, I cut more regulations than anybody by far, not even close.
And Trump says he'll kill inflation and the deficit by drilling more and spending less.
We have more liquid gold under our feet. I use the term. We have more oil. We have more wells. We have more everything than anybody else. If they ever won the election, there's no more oil coming out. There's no more oil. We have tremendous growth potential, and we have tremendous numbers of dollars that can be saved through efficiency.
Trump's an old school guy, but he's open to new ideas. Nuclear energy-powered artificial intelligence is one.
They need electricity at levels that nobody's ever experienced before to be successful, to be a leader in AI. And we're going to have to be able to do that. And a windmill turning with its blade, knocking out the birds and everything else is not going to be able to make us competitive.
What about nuclear, Mr. President?
I'm okay with nuclear, but you have to do it in a way that makes sense.
AI isn't the only thing Trump's open to. The former president was asked if he would release the JFK assassination files.
I released a lot, as you know. But when it came to the whole thing, I was hit by some people that worked for me that are great people that you would respect. And they asked me not to do it. And I'm saying, why? Tell me why. And they said, sir, I think it needs a little more time. But this time, I'm just going to do it.
RFK says the CIA killed his uncle. Do you believe that?
Well, this wasn't CIA that asked me, but I think CIA was probably behind it. But they didn't. They would have preferred that I not release the rest of it. But people, more than anything else, they want the JFK files. We're going to release that immediately.
Low taxes, less red tape, and a president who's open to ideas. Rich guys like that.
JCal, what are your big takeaways? Well, I'm undecided, as you know. We had a limited amount of time with him, and obviously,
Cal, just say it. Just say it. You like him. You didn't. You were. Just say it. Just say it because it's written all across your face. Just say it. You like him. You're confused.
I have some
He
blockers.
crushed your questions. No, he crushed your questions.
I
Admit
think
it.
he did.
You asked some
crushed
tough
your-
questions.
You asked great questions and he just dealt with them head on. Just admit it. You like him. You like him. You look at him.
Well, I do like the fact that he came on the pod.
I told you you'd like him. I told you you'd like him.
Trump has a way of charming the wealthy because he comes from that world. He knows all they want is a prosperous country and common sense policies. The former president raked in $170 million last month, completely shredding Biden's cash advantage. Some of that money came from billionaires, like $50 million from Timothy Mellon, the heir to the Mellon family banking fortune. That's one of the biggest donations in political history. But a lot of cash came from small donations, fueled by Trump's conviction in May. Trump's up in every swing state. And in deep blue Minnesota, he edges out Biden when RFK Jr. is on the ballot. A Republican hasn't won Minnesota since Nixon. Compared to 2020, Trump's up 19 points with blacks and 8 with Hispanics. The New York Times has Biden down 5 points with women compared to 4 years ago. What this all means is that Biden has zero room for error from now until November. He can't afford to lose one more voter.
The Biden campaign needs to set the narrative early that Biden is competent and capable to lead going forward, and he absolutely cannot have a senior moment at this debate. That's what I heard I was in Wisconsin and Michigan 2 weeks ago for a lot of focus groups, and what I heard from voters, Democrats who support Biden, is just that they are going to be watching, and they want to make sure that he's up to the task. They might still be planning to vote for him, but they're uncomfortable about the age, and it really is an albatross that is hanging around this candidate and campaign.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.